All right. Well, we are officially live. So I am super excited to be here. I am super excited that you are here. So there is a little bit of a delay. Generally speaking, it usually takes a moment or two for folks to start trickling in. So I'm going to do a couple of quick little back of the house things. We've got folks joining us. So if you don't mind, as you join in, looks like we got folks joining us on YouTube and Facebook. Do me a huge favor and let me know, where are you joining us from? It's always nice to hear where people are joining us from. So just in the comments, let me know, where are you joining us from as we are getting started here. So super excited that you are here, and we're going to be talking with my guest, should be joining me momentarily. So, all right. So we've got folks, looks like people can hear me. I got some thumbs up icons. Yoni, are you joining us? I see you there. Liking the session. This is your session, Yoni. So you should have an email link in your inbox so you can join me here. Super excited that we were going to get started here momentarily. So, all right, let me do a couple little back of the house things as we get started. So I know folks are starting to trickle in here. And we're going to be talking about profitability. So if you like profit, as in keeping more money in your pocket, not just talking about the fancy top line sales, but the sales that are coming in. So, all right. So my guest is here with me, Yoni.
Hey,
sir. Right. Super excited that you are here. So we're going to be talking about profitability. So you like profit, right, Yoni?
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah. It's usually kind of a good thing. So,
yeah.
Cool. So for those of you who are joining us, do me a favor, in the comments, just tell us where you're joining us from. Are you joining us from Italy? Are you joining us from Colombia? Are you joining us from Boca Raton, Florida, from outside of Atlanta, from Dallas, Texas? Just examples of an earlier session where people were joining us from. So it's always fun to know where people are joining us from, right, Yoni?
I love that. I love the variety of talent of entrepreneurs that are out there around the world, all in the same space. I think that's brilliant.
Exactly. It's always a good thing. So we got folks joining us. We got 2 streams on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So looks like we've got Sam is joining us all the way from London, England. So I'm assuming that's London, England, right? I think there's other Londons.
I think there's London in the US, but there's small towns out of nowhere. But I think London had big floods, so I hope Sam's okay. I know there's a big rain. In a few hours, they got a whole amount of rain that's enough for a whole month there. So they had some floods.
Oh, wow.
So they have a little issue there. Something happened in Germany a week or 2 ago. They had massive floods. So I hope everybody's okay.
Yeah, there's been a lot of crazy stuff around the world. Like I had one of my suppliers was like, hey, there's going to be a couple days before your order ships out. And then she sends me this video of like water just flowing down like the street in China somewhere. And then I guess there was like a 6.7 earthquake in the Philippines a couple days ago. So I reached out to somebody who helps me actually with setting up of like our web pages. And I was like, hey, how was everything going? He's like, good under the circumstances. And then explained. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So
yeah, I remember I had a teammate that in India, they had the monsoon season. They had really crazy floods. That was like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It can be crazy.
Yeah. So she got stuck there. She went home for a visit and then came back to the States. When she was there, she was kind of stranded, but she's okay now.
Gotcha. Yeah. So glad to hear they're okay. And so glad to hope everyone else out there is okay. So sound like Sam confirmed. Yes, it is London, England. So that's very good. So thank you, Sam, for confirming. So we also got Andrew joining us from Detroit. My wife is from Dearborn, right outside of Detroit, close to the airport.
Sort of. Oak Park, not too far from Dearborn also.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Small world. It is
a small world. Yeah. On my laptop, I do have it's not here, but I have I have a sticker imported from Detroit.
Nice.
I have a Chrysler. They had this time. Maybe they still market it this way. They said like.
Importing it from Detroit.
Like a different universe. So
like staying for a while.
Imported from Detroit. That's it's as if it's its own continent or country or something.
Exactly. So we got Bearded Mimic is joining us from Chicago. Interesting thing is my sister-in-law is from Chicago. She met my brother-in-law. They both went to Michigan State. So kind of connecting Michigan and Illinois there.
I'm gonna be in Chicago in August for Retail X and
Oh, nice.
yeah, I love Chicago. It's really nice.
So we got Joe Bear joining us. Hopefully I said that right. Joining us from the Philippines. Andrew said, awesome guys at Prosper Yoni. Oh, he met.
I saw him at the Top Golf on, I think it was Tuesday night. We played some, there was a golf place over there in Vegas, and we spent some time. He's a great guy, doing great things. Kudos to Andrew for joining us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one thing I will say, if you ever are at an event or something and you meet Yoni, go up and introduce yourself and talk to him. He's a very personable guy. And the one thing I give you kudos for, Yoni, is like sometimes like you and I have had some conversations and I've thrown like, like these kind of like just throwaway statements like, oh, I blah, 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 blah. Like a year later, like I'll have a conversation with you like, oh yeah, if I remember correctly, did it? I'm like, how did you know that? Because I didn't see you like writing it down or typing it.
It's my only skill. Anything else? That's it. Yeah, I kind of remember stories or people, the in between the lines, what they're talking about. That's kind of a thing that was from a young age. I remember that. I remember all these things, and my parents would tell me like, oh, because when you grow up, kids. By the way, I think kids have this. I see my kids. Even last night, I was telling them things about, they always before we go to bed, I try to make a little story. Like, tell me about when you travel to South America or when you're in the army or whatever. And I tell them, but then they remind me things that I already told them about the story. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a kid that's still in me that remembers all these details. That's all.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my wife will tell you has to grow up. That's kind of the thing,
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to be getting into reading between the lines, so to speak, when it comes to profitability. But before we do that, I also want to give a shout out to a couple other people that mentioned a couple things. Joe Bear also mentioned joining us from the Philippines. It looks like, Joe Bear, are you joining us both on Facebook and YouTube? So is that kind of doubling it up there, or two people with the same name? So yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then Bearded Mimic said Chuck. Actually, is Chuck like a city outside of Chicago? Because we were talking about Chuck was from.
Oh yeah,
Chicago. Or no, not Chuck was from Chicago. Bearded Mimic, it was from Chicago. So hopefully I got that right. So anyway, so real quick, Yoni, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about who you are and what is it you do.
Got it. So essentially, GETIDA, we're a technology company, but our claim to fame is our ability to help Amazon FBA sellers get the maximum FBA reimbursements that they're eligible to receive. So typically, what happens is Amazon sellers connect to GETIDA. Our technology is going to go back 18 months on their account and scan all the FBA transactions and find discrepancies. Any of the inventory that got lost, damaged, destroyed, disappeared, disposed, or got overcharged with fees, our technology is going to catch that. But that information goes to our dedicated team. A big part of our team are former Amazon employees who used to work on those departments, the FBA reimbursements departments. And then we're going to go open the cases with Amazon. If inventory is found, no harm done, everybody's good to go. If not, what happens is Amazon usually provides an FBA reimbursement. And only if they do and you recover money, only then we charge a fee. So it's free to join GETIDA. It's free to stay with GETIDA. Our model is based on what we call PPR, paper recovery only, which makes it very, very comfortable, very convenient. And anytime we ever get paid, it means that somebody else got paid, which makes it really kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to bring a link up here real quick. So just so everyone knows, we're doing this as part of the, I lost the.
I think it's if you go to getida.com, I'm trying to find the
/maxecom.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take a little peek on that. You can.
Right. So while Yoni is taking a peek on that, this is part of the e-commerce business builders summit. So if you don't have your tickets, what are you waiting for? Time is running out. This summit, if you're watching this live, the summit will be over on Friday. If you're watching this in the future, next week or something beyond that, I am sorry, but you have missed the summit. So you can check out, Yoni gave a great presentation in addition to this live session, but Yoni gave a great presentation on profitability and some fees I didn't even know about that Amazon was charging. So if he can save you some of that, that is super good stuff. So if you're like, what is this whole thing about fees? We'll get more into the whole what GETIDA does, how Yoni can help you out. But you can go to getida.com/maxecom. So that's you can see the GETIDA I got it up there, the banner, as well as behind Yoni's shoulder, you see the logo with the name. So GETIDA, it's GETIDA basically. So it's, so tell us a little bit more about like, what is the reimbursement policy Amazon has, how people understand that? And is this terms of service? Is this cheating the system? Like, how do people understand like this whole thing?
Yeah. So, that's a great question. So when you sell on Amazon, you ship your products to FBA. There's an insurance policy that Amazon has for the sellers, because imagine you're going to ship $1 million worth of inventory. And if Amazon decides at any point to dump it, lose it, there has to be accountability, because if there wasn't, there will be no FBA system, right? It's all based on a certain fundamentals that everybody kind of tends to overlook, because everybody takes for granted that Amazon is in a beautiful, large organization, very well known, very well respected. But if you dived into the terms of service and the actual elements, they have an insurance policy for the seller. So in case anything goes wrong with your inventory that you trusted their organization to handle, they have coverage. So that is very, very important, fundamental. Can be easily overlooked, but in our case, it's not really overlooked. It's kind of our main focus. In that insurance policy, or in their terms of service under the FBA reimbursements policy, there's limitations. There are a few limitations. One of them, for example, is on the price level, the value per unit. So just, this is for general information, but it's useful. They will cover any unit up to $5,000 worth of value. So if you lost this beautiful gold-plated seller device that's worth $4,999.99 in the warehouse, in the fulfillment center, they'll cover you because it's up to $5,000. But if this is worth $5,000, $1, 1 penny, and it got lost, you're done. They're not going to cover you. So that's one type of limitation.
That by worth, you mean the price you're charging?
The value, the retail value that you're trying to sell at. So what happens is Amazon knows what's the marketplace value that you're trying to sell your product, and that's how they dictate the recovery. So if any of your price point is up to $5,000, it's covered. Anything above $5,000 retail value, it's not covered because it's too much for them, too expensive. You could do it at your own risk, sort of speaking. But usually, typically, sellers never get to those realms with FBA. If you have a over $5,000 worth of value product, it can be expensive watch or expensive jewelry. You're typically not going to ship to FBA. Too much handling around. Things can go offside. So usually sellers like that, we see they keep it in their safes. The order comes in, they ship it, they take care of themselves with the right insurances and the right structures. But let's put that aside.
Okay.
In addition to all that, what happens is Amazon says, okay, we're going to automatically reimburse you for anything that our system, our technology finds. Okay. The auto reimbursements, they call it. But we need about 30 days to do it. And after 30 days, it's up to you, the seller, to audit us. We're going to give you a breakdown of all the reports and all the data points that you need to basically download and reconcile and do cross referencing and checking. And of course, you find out that you're eligible to open a case. Well, open with us. We'll look at it. And of course, if we owe you, we're going to pay you that reimbursement. That's the name of the game. So and also they put a time limit. For the most part, you got up to 18 months to go back on all these things. But there's also things that you have less time. For example, when you ship your products FBA, the inbound shipment, right? You have 9 months to reconcile that. You shipped 1,000 units to Amazon to the fulfillment center. You have 9 months to reconcile to make sure they received everything. Because if they didn't, let's say instead of receiving 1,000 units, they only received 990 units, so 10 units are missing. You have 9 months to recover and to reconcile. After 9 months, it expires. They can tell you, we're not going to look into this. Your time is up. Pick and pack fees, when fulfillment fees, if they overcharge you, you got 90 days, right? So when Amazon picks this from the bin, package in the box, ship it out. If they need to charge you $3, but instead of that, they charge you $10 because they have incorrect information. You have 90 days to reconcile that, for example. But once again, up to 18 months, but there's brackets. And if you don't, as a seller, if you don't get everything that you're eligible to receive under this whole program, you kind of lose two things. The first thing you lose is your investment, the money you invest into the inventory. And the second thing you lose is profit. And why? Because like we mentioned earlier, when Amazon pays a reimbursement, they pay you the retail value, not the cost value. So our mission is simple. We have the sellers shift a double negative to a double positive, where they're able to get their money back and make some profit, and hopefully take that money that they never expected to receive and reinvest it in the business. Invest more into your advertising, more into your branding, more into your sourcing or global expansion. Whatever it is that you need to do with the funds to keep growing your business, we highly encourage that.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because one of the things as much as we all have that love-hate relationship with Amazon, We do have to give them credit. There's a lot of things they do, I think, pretty well. As much as sometimes we get frustrated when we put in a seller support case and it comes back and it's not even close to like acknowledging the question you just asked. At least there's people we can contact. I won't throw platforms of the bus, Facebook, where it's like impossible to actually get a hold of someone.
Well, listen, let's give them credit. They have overall all over the world more than 6 million sellers. In the United States, 2.5 million sellers. And every time you call, usually there's an answer. And every time you mail,
exactly,
there's an answer. Granted, the quality of the answers can be argued, but there's coverage. And that alone is the kudos you're trying to push here.
Yeah, exactly. So there's things they do well. Like, you know what? Let's all see if we can figure out how to replicate their fulfillment in network. I mean, kudos to them. I mean, just throwing it out there, the same guy just launched himself into outer space. And, that's not something civilians have really been doing. But he said, I'm going to go to outer space. So, the same mindset that created this global fulfillment network also launched himself into outer space. So I thought that was kind of just an interesting thing. But, also give them kudos to your point, like, if you can prove that you had this inventory there and they lost it, they will give you your money back. Not the full retail value, but basically what you would have gotten if you had sold it. And so oftentimes that actually ends up being in your favor because you're not paying, because let's say it would have been on the shelves for 6 months. You're not paying the inventory for that. So
you're not paying storage fees, you're not paying any advertising or costs and stuff like that. So
right.
It's very, once again, if you take that negative and you turn to a positive, it's actually very rewarding. Instead of losing inventory and losing the opportunity to sell it, actually you sell it. Basically, Amazon's buying it off your hands. As if you sold it on Amazon without any strings attached. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's definitely a good thing. And, to your point, this is in their terms of service. So if you're thinking about selling a product for $5,002, maybe you want to just go with $499 and just give yourself that, reassurance that just in case something gets lost or damaged, that they will reimburse you for it. So I've been doing giveaways.
What's the $5,000? I want to know them personally. I wonder who is brave enough to send almost $5,000 worth of value product to FBA. I want to, anybody's out there listening, I'm all ears, but yeah, go ahead.
Right. Exactly. So Yoni, just bear with me here. So just follow along with what I'm about to do here. So let's just say this. We've been doing giveaways at pretty much all the live sessions I've been doing so far. So what if we gave away $400? I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So who would like to get $400? Just put in GETIDA in the chat, GETIDA or GETS or something close to that. Just put that in the chat, GET, and we'll show you how you can get $400 for free very, very soon here. So as there's always a delay in this. So as that is coming in here, one of the things I did want to say is, with GETIDA, it's a service that's doing this for you. Whereas I know there's software tools and things like that. So if someone says like, hey, why don't I just use a software tool to do this? Why do I need a person to do it? What's the difference in?
So we encourage you, whatever tools are out there you want to use, we encourage you to use it, do the maximum you can get on your own. That's fine. But then we can come after whatever is being left behind. We'll be able to recover it. So it's not we're very agnostic. All right. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not this or that. It can be together. Just to give a little analogy about that, tools are really good. They're basically like toothbrushes, and we're like the dentist, right? So as a dentist, we recommend you to use a toothbrush, okay? But once you come visit me as a dentist, I got my tools. I got specialty tools. I got a whole team. I got a whole know-how. That's kind of and I can do a root canal. I can do extraction. I can do whitening, meaning. Tools are they only cover a few things basically usually, and for us we have a whole laundry list of more than 30 things that we look into because we over the past 5-6 years we compounded our knowledge and experience because we audit billions of dollars worth of transactions every day across our clients. So there's a saying, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
We know, and it's our mission to know because we keep learning every day new things, new variation of things. If I can borrow from the virus, you got the regular corona, and now you got the delta. So you need to get covered for that. So we have all these variations with the data that creates new types of opportunities to get recoveries. So it's much more robust, much more deep on the discovering the issue and keep on discovering new issues. But that's just one component. The second thing is to actually open cases and manage all the back and forth with Amazon, because some cases can be easy, they can be resolved in a few hours, but some cases it can take longer. They can take a few days, a few weeks, a few months, and also in rare cases more than a year. So we have enough manpower muscle to actually extract the value, because data is one thing, how to use it, how to communicate with Amazon, the lingo, under the policy rules, it's almost like legal work, so to speak. So we're very good with that. One last analogy, I can go all like this all day, but I'll give you one more analogy. Is, all these tools are out there. They're cool. Use them. It's like basically you're trying to walk on the beach on the sand, and you have a metal detector. You're trying to find golden coins or any coins, right? So you made yourself. You bought a tool, and it's from Walmart, whatever it is. It's all good, but it can only go down like 10 feet. And whatever you can find for 10 feet, it's yours. Keep it. It's all good. With our tools, what we do is we come with our tools, and instead of going down 10 feet, it can go down 3 miles. Very, very deep. So we can find more and more layers of opportunity where there's golden nuggets. But not only that we have the technology to discover it, we can also have the machinery and the manpower to extract it out, which is another element that people need to understand. Because that's pretty much the back and forth of managing the cases. So all that together creates a solution. Just to kind of repackage this, we're not a tool, we're not a software, we're a solution. As a solution, we use our own software and technology, but our own dedicated team to create the solution. So I hope that clarifies.
Yeah, that's great. And the thing I have found is I started using your service last year, and it was way more that I actually got back in real money than what software tools were telling me. Because I think there's certain things that algorithms aren't going to find that a human can find if they know where to look. And so kudos to you and your team. And this is all legit stuff. And Amazon is happy to provide this as long as you provide whatever information they ask for and things of that nature. So, all right. So we did just say, for those of you maybe who just joined us a couple minutes ago, we said you can get who can win $400. That might sound too good to be true. The one thing I will say is you do need an Amazon account to get the $400. You need to be selling on Amazon. There is a slight catch. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But all you got to do is type in GETIDA into the chat. So just like Sam did here, GETIDA. Andrew said GETIDA. David Ward said GETIDA. Sawyer with his fireworks there said GETIDA. Interesting thing is the live session I did earlier, Sawyer got access to the Expanded Canada course, Expanded the UK course, an hour of consulting time, as well as my team will be completing the RC1 registration forms to register with Canada. If you haven't already gotten it, that should all be in your inbox, Sawyer. So congratulations to you with that. I enjoy giving stuff away. And so here, this was, I think Patrick is the one who said this in the group. So random side note, if you're watching, I know we got a stream going to the group, and I got a stream going to the Facebook page, and I got a stream going to YouTube. So if you are in the Facebook group, and you've never gone to StreamYard.com/Facebook, I recommend you do that so that we can actually have your name up here so you get credit for your comments and things of that nature. But I can look down here and see we got a Patrick. So all right. So here's the good news. Everybody that just said it is a winner. And even if you didn't put GETIDA, you can still win, because all you have to do is go to GETIDA.com/maxecom, and you get $400 recovered for free. So I don't butcher that. Do you mind better explaining it?
Yeah, just to make it more straightforward. Essentially, it's free to join GETIDA, it's free to stay. But in addition to all of that, the first $400 we're gonna get for you in FBI reimbursements will be free. We're not gonna charge you a penny. So after $400, which means this is guaranteed. It might take us a day or a year. You're gonna get $400, and after you get $400, if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. If you want to leave, that's fine as well. Our mission is kind of to really offer real value to the sellers. Once again, we every time we got paid, it means somebody else got paid. It makes it very rewarding and kind of win-win proposition. So yeah, if you find these guys, this useful, guys, $400, you can take it from there. And this helps to cover a lot of things. $400 in this economy can do pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. And so for folks that are starting out, maybe it might take you a little while to get to that $400, but from what
There's
you're
no rush,
saying. Yeah.
corporation. You know, it could take us 10 years. Hopefully not, but
Right. Hopefully you grow quickly
yeah.
and your need for reimbursements goes up. But I think you gave a statistic one time about like the average account you see has a certain percentage of their sales goes towards reimbursements.
Yeah, high level, we see that the FBA discrepancy rates on an annual basis can range between 1 to 3%. So if you do $1 million a year, it can be 10 to 30,000. If you do 100,000 on FBA a year, it can be 1 to 3,000. If you do 10,000, it's 100 to 300 bucks. I hope on my math. Right. But another way to look at it is for every 100 units you ship to FBA, between 1 to 3 units is going to experience an issue throughout the life cycle of their inventory with Amazon's fulfillment center. And if that ever happens, we'll come into place to make sure you get that recovery back. In addition to all that, 400 bucks will be on us. We're not going to charge you a penny. Yeah, so obviously the more transactions, the more chances that things go wrong, and then we can come in and help. The less transactions, less opportunity for us to help, but nevertheless, it means you're kind of doing, you're not growing. You know, the whole idea is that you grow on Amazon, you generate more sales, that generates more transactions. So if you're growing, we're growing. If you're not growing, we're not growing. So we're all in this together as far as we're concerned.
Awesome. So let me just ask this question. So for somebody who, let's say they're not new, they've been around for a while, what do you do? Do you go back, over the last 2 weeks, the last month? Like how far back can you go?
Yeah, we can go up to 18 months back. So usually what happens is when you join GETIDA, there's kind of two phases. The first phase, it can take up to 90 days where we go back 18 months and clean up everything. So we're going to start from the oldest issues to the newest issues because the oldest are about to expire. You don't want that opportunity to be missed. Mm-hmm. So we start with those. And then it can take up to 90 days to clean it up. And then it goes to phase 2, which is kind of month to month. Every month it comes in, there's all these transactions that issues happen. We catch it, we take care of it. So it doesn't lag and get old or stale or even worse, expire. So, that little corner and function and element of reconciling all your FBA transactions, you got coverage. Because selling on Amazon today is it's getting more sophisticated by the second, by the minute, right? There's all these things you got to worry about: sourcing, finance, team, scaling, VAs, customer service, suspensions, regulations, endless. One of them is FBA reconciliation or FBA auditing and reimbursements. That little corner, we can hopefully we're there to be able to put a check mark on it. That's it. You can focus your mind and talent and skill on everything else that kind of actually creates a business and moves the needle. Because as far as we're concerned, the sellers always need to be facing forward and march on and lead the business. Our mission is being like archaeologists. We always look into the past. We bring our toothbrushes, in the sand. We brush it within all the rubble, and only if we find a golden coin, we're gonna put it back in your pocket, and only then we're gonna get rewarded. So we find out these dynamics, for the past 5-6 years, it's working really, really nicely, and really helps out.
Yeah, I mean, all that goes to the bottom line very quickly. So just to give an example, like you gave the 1 to 3%. So let's use some very conservative numbers. So let's say someone's doing $1 million in sales. Some people may say, well, $1 million in sales isn't conservative. Well, I'm going to pick that just because the math is easy. So it's a nice even number. So let's say they're doing 10% profit margin. So that's $100,000 in profit. If you're able to get 1% reimbursed, that's and that's another $10,000 in profit.
It's a 10x equation for every percentage that we get from the top. On the bottom line for this specific example, it's like a 10x. If we get 2% back, it's 20 grand. That's a 20% bump in your actual profit, which is aggressive. It's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're able to go back 18 months, that 1% is not of a 12-month period. That would be of an 18-month period, depending on, I know that not everything it goes back 18 months, but up to 18 months, depending on the issue, that could be, another, instead of 1%, another 1.5%. Okay. And I remember when I was still relatively new to GETIDA, there was one day, it was like, like you get the cycle every 2 weeks, you get your disbursements from Amazon. And I had gotten to a point where, I just got my disbursement. So my account was relatively low. And so all of a sudden somebody, what was the phrase? They, you see, like, let's say, something ships. I think that's what I was trying to say there. If something ships, it just small increments. All of a sudden, several $100s it increased from like just a few minutes when I had looked at it. It just happened to be,
but nothing sold, right?
Yeah, nothing shipped out. So I was like, well, maybe I had a big order ship out or something like that. And it was like, let's say I had 50 orders to ship and I had $149 or something like that. So it wasn't that. And so I looked and I had a big and I had, you know, the reimbursement. So I was like, oh, okay. So just sometimes out of the blue, these, you know, hey, here's some extra money.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, you know, you got paid or you got mail. I'm borrowing from AOL back in the day.
Right, exactly, back in the days.
But yeah, so when you look at Amazon Deposit, usually you have sales and the blue that comes in, and then you have the red that comes out. That's you got Amazon fees and this and that. But on the blue area, you'll see that there's an entry called Other, and that's where we live. Under Other, you see all the reimbursements. So all of a sudden, you'll see that your deposit gets thick, but not because the sales increased, and because the Other got increased, because you got all these FBA reimbursements that got added to your Amazon Deposit. By the way, that's the flow. We don't take your money and then split it with you or anything like that. The way that usually works is we manage the cases. Amazon pays you, the seller, the reimbursement, and adds the money to your deposit. Typically, Amazon charges every 2 weeks, right? Sorry, they pay you every 2 weeks, but we only charge once a month. So once we close a month, we send a statement, kind of a summary of what happened. And by the time you pay us, you already got 2 deposits in, so the money is deep in your pocket. That's kind of the financial elements of how it works.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's awesome. So it looks like we did have a question from someone. This is unrelated. I didn't receive any link for the summit. So just to make sure we're all on the same page of what that issue might be, if you don't have your tickets to the summit yet, you can go to econbuildersummit.com. You can still grab a ticket. You can check out Yoni's session today, in addition to what we're talking about here, where he goes more in depth on just profitability in general, as well as if you do have your ticket and you didn't receive, check your junk, spam, promotions, whatever folder stuff goes to.
Social.
Yeah, sometimes for whatever reason, the login credentials don't jive with, depending on Gmail or Hotmail or whatever. So just check there. And if it wasn't there, send me a direct message through Facebook, or if you have my email address, shoot me an email and just say, hey, I registered using this email address. Sometimes the email address will be off by a letter, or something weird will happen, or sometimes our system, like, for whatever reason, will blacklist an email address, which we have no control over. That's pretty rare, but either way, we're going to figure it out. But what I do want to figure out, which I think is more important for folks, is getting back some money. It's one of those things that maybe at first you're like, wait, this sounds almost too good to be true. But everyone I've sent over to you guys who's talked about it is like, this is all legit. It's all within terms of service. And they compare it to software tools that they were using that maybe pulled a report. And again, where's your staff coming from that they know, like, kind of what to look for and what to ask?
So a big part of our team are actually former Amazon employees who used to work in those departments. They have reimbursement departments. So we know what we're looking for, how to present the issues, how to manage all the back and forth. So it helps a lot. It's very similar to where you have somebody that works for the IRS, and then when they want to leave, they can basically leave to accounting offices that they saw worked on the highest level and highest performance. So that was a great opportunity for us to get people already experiencing what's going on, then send the lingo, then send the regulations, how to stay compliant throughout throughout every step of the way. So that's very helpful. That's on the actual team level. But also above that, we're an authorized solution by Amazon. So if you go visit Amazon Seller Central and they have an app store, you put GETIDA, you're going to find us there, which means we have double commitment. We have a commitment to the sellers, right? To stay compliant, but also we have a commitment to Amazon to stay terms of service compliant, play by the rules. Also data security, private policy, a lot of things go into that component. So we have to play on the highest standards and the regulations. We take a lot of pride in that. Essentially, we're just here to help the marketplace, because typically what happens is Amazon needs sellers. They need their inventory. They need to grow from that, and that's a growth engine. And they would like to have the inventory in their hands, and they want to be responsible for it. So that's all within the plan. And of course, once they pay the sellers, typically what happens, it just goes back to Amazon, because the sellers will restock or reinvest into the marketplace, grow their sales. And Amazon, even if they give 1% of reimbursement, for example, or 3%, the fact that you're growing on Amazon, they're charging 50% selling fee, another 10% FBA fees, another 10, 20, 30% A costs. It feeds the engine again, so it's all good. It's kind of a circle of magic. It's almost like credit card. You have a credit card, you use it, and the credit card, you buy gas, and they give you 1% back. Right? The credit card companies they charge 3%. and they
Mhm.
give you 1%, and they keep the 2%. Amazon gives 1 or 3%, but usually keep 30-40% plus. So compared to the credit card companies, they're doing
Oh,
great.
I see what you're saying. So you get
Yeah,
1 to
you
three
can kind of look
percent
at it
back,
almost like,
but only if you know where to look for and ask.
yeah, it's almost like our unique rewards program for using FBA. That's how you can maybe kind of look at GETIDA, our solution. It's, kind of reward. If you're using FBA, there's another reward waiting for you. Of course, do everything you can do on your own to get all the reimbursements that you know of and you can get, and then we can come in and reward you, get you that more that actually you never expected to get. Of course, only if we're successful, we get paid. But yeah, that's kind of the unique position that we're in. We feel very, very privileged.
Awesome. Yeah. And just as a reminder, this link right here I've got up on the screen, getida.com/max ecom. That would get you $400, your first $400 with GETIDA reimbursed for free. And if you decided you want to stick with them after that, that's fine too. Yoni had said, but you might as well. And one of the things is, even before you commit to, they'll give you $400 for free, you can log in and they can connect with your Seller Central account, and they can tell you an estimate based on what they're seeing, if that's workable. And like
Yeah.
Yoni said, they're on the Amazon service provider network, so they have to provide, if they're not doing something on the up and up, they're going to get in trouble with Jeff himself.
Yeah, basically like
They're coming
Amazon
a rocket to your house.
Yeah, we're kind of like Amazon sellers. All Amazon sellers know what it's like to perform on Amazon standards. Same thing applies for us on the solution end.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, they're getting really good with Rocket. So
yeah, exactly. Now, in full disclosure, GETIDA is a sponsor of the e-commerce business builder summit. But I will say this: yes, we've got 10 sponsors, but I turn away a bunch of sponsors every single time. I only work with sponsors that have great reputations, that I either personally have used their product, which is the case with GETIDA, or I have a long understanding of the reputation, and I personally, know either the founders of the company or high up level people in the company. So, I don't just take everyone that tries to throw money at me. So, just want to throw that out there, because I do believe in, there's lots of great companies out there, but I do believe in, there's a certain level, if I'm allowing them into the summit, that I'm kind of vouching for them. So in this case, I do vouch for GETIDA, both as a client, and, just knowing, Yoni and his reputation. So we did have a couple other questions, which I don't think were necessarily related to GETIDA. So someone said, can you put that website again? I don't know if you were referring to getida.com or the ecombuildersummit.com. So if you don't yet have your tickets, for a whopping $7, I mean, literally, you could pay more than that for a coffee at your favorite Green Straw National Coffee House. But you can learn from some amazing people like Yoni and about 30 other amazing speakers. If you're who's speaking, it's almost too many, and I'm almost afraid to give 5 or 6 examples.
The digital all-star game in the Amazon space. You got the NBA All-Stars. They're all shooting slam dunking and shooting 3-pointers, making a big show. That's what's going on. And for a whopping $7, you're gonna get court seats to the game.
Exactly. So you would have access between now and Friday. So it's going on there. So it did have another question here from, it looks like Zaid said, did you start the summit yet? That's yes. I bought the ticket, but didn't receive the link for the summit. So yeah. So if you didn't receive the link for the summit, please either email me, kevin@maximizingecommerce.com, or send me a direct message in Facebook. I won't respond to it in the middle of this live session, but we will get you taken care of. So if you purchased it, you will be taken care of. There's a variety of things that happen with logins and whatnot, but we'll make sure it's resolved. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, and we'll get it taken care of. But in the meantime, anything else that you want our folks here to know about with GETIDA, or just general seller tips, or whatever the case is?
General seller tips. Yeah, just try to do things for the long term. I know there's a lot of temptation. A lot of people get into the game because the dream of a quick profit or passive income and things like that. That might all be true, but plan it out to be an adventure, a long ride. Try to absorb as much as you can from everything that's out there on the content and educational level, like this event, and it's layer after layer, step after step. You're gonna get better. You're gonna compound your abilities to do things better and in a more refined matter, and achieve success. It's all in the data. It's all in the hard work. It's all in keeping at it and refining it. Don't expect to kind of keep on doing the same things, and or even things that are working now. Just so you know, that might later on they might not still work. That's very dynamic, so we got to keep that in mind. A small example to that, or testament to that, is the Amazon advertising platform. I remember what it was 4 or 5 years ago. It was like a little baby, and now it's like a Olympic, champion. There's so many things to go around it to make, to be able to use it properly. So that's just one example. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving elements, which makes it great because it's becoming a more matured and professional industry. So think of this whole thing, this whole experience as your profession, not your hobby and not your side hustle. This is going to be your profession. You're going to be a professional player in this game. And once you have the right mindset, I do believe that everything will kind of follow and you're going to achieve long-term success and hopefully become profitable. Once again, when you launch a business, you're very, very concerned and focus on the top line, invest a lot in advertising, just generate sales, sales, sales. That's good, just generating marketplace share. But stay focused on the numbers, see if any of them trickle properly into your pocket and you're making profit, and then you can either reinvest it or take in the same industry or reinvest it in maybe real estate. But if you're not making any profit, you're not going to reinvest it anywhere, and you're just going to be wasting your time. So hope this is a bit more useful in the mindset, the awareness, and the dynamics of things.
Yeah, it's all about thinking long-term, doing things that help you long-term. In fact, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to do my own little giveaway here, Yoni. So let's do this. So I think one of the easiest ways to add sales is to sell in Canada. So a couple times this year I hosted, I did sell it. So there is a value to this. I hosted a live workshop called Expanded Canada Fast Track Workshop, where you can learn how to basically, there's some confusing forms you got to fill out to get launched there. We did it all together, one by one, line by line. So if you're selling on Amazon in the US, you're not selling in Canada, you're probably leaving money on the table. A decent amount for a lot of people, it tends to be 10 to 20% of their US sales. So add on GETIDA, add on Canada. I mean, that's definitely the cost of admission just right there. So I'm going to give away for free the Expanded Canada Fast Track course, the Expanded Canada Fast Track Workshop, I should call it. So you can get the replay of that. All you got to do is type in Canada into the chat. So if you'd like that, we're going to give away one. Just put in Canada in the chat and we'll give that away momentarily. Again, Canada in the chat, Canada, Canada. So we'll give that away here momentarily. But just a couple other quick little shout outs as folks are starting to write that in. I'm going to give a couple things here. If you are in the e-commerce business builder summit and you don't yet have your VIP ticket, make sure to do that. We have a lot of awesome things you will be able to get with that, as well as if you don't yet have your ticket to the summit, you can just go to ecombuildersummit.com and do that. And don't forget, Yoni and his team, go to getida.com/maxecom. If you're thinking about it, just do it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to get signed up. So definitely go do that. All right. So we got a few folks that commented. So Sam said Canada. Aksa said Canada. We've got 2 Facebook users, which looks like Zayad and Desalava. So Zayad would be the one with the capital C. And Desalava would be the one.
You're taking notes again.
Yes.
You mentioned that. What did you mention yesterday? I think in the live that you actually take notes. When you look down at things, you're actually learning yourself. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of times, if you see the session, sometimes you see me like kind of going like this. It's because I'm writing stuff down. So I'm usually standing up in most of the sessions while I'm doing them. So it looks like Yobert also said Canada. So that's 5 entries. So this is my last call. So I'm about to pull up my random number generator, which is going to be what we're going to use here. So
you got 5 contestants.
Looks like we have 5 contestants. So everybody's got a 20% chance of winning. So make sure, if this sounds like something you're interested in, I know there's a little bit of a delay, but if before I select it. If you can get yourself in there at the last minute, just type in Canada. You can make yourself eligible to win the Expanded Canada Fast Track Workshop. So let me go ahead and share this again. Share screen. And so as you see, we've got a random number generator. So we have 5 folks.
1 to 5, yeah.
Yep, 1 to 5. So 3. Sorry, Javid.
Oh, well, he missed it.
You just missed it. I did say it had to come in before I did it.
He was supposed to be number 6, so you wouldn't win, right?
Well, theoretically, who knows what the number generator would have come up with. Let's just assume it still would have come up with 3. Yeah, okay. So sorry about that, Javid. So, all right. So let's do this. So number 3 was, I had said it was the Canada with the capital C with the Facebook user. So it was this one here. So that is Zayed. So Zayed, in addition to emailing me any login issues you're having, make sure to tell me that you were the one who won as well, which could be a separate email or direct message as well. And I will give you access to the Expanded Canada Fast Track Workshop.
Okay, his birthday is coming up September, so happy birthday gift.
Yes. So good deal. Good deal.
Little details, you know?
Yeah, little details. So good stuff. All right. So this has been super fun. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Again, folks, this was fun. So it looks like Zayed's excited about it. So let's do this. So thank you. It is my pleasure. I love giving stuff away. It's kind of fun. All right. So before we take off here, just a reminder, GETIDA.com/MaxEcom. GETIDA is a sponsor of the of the E-commerce Business Builder Summit, which is owned by Maximizing E-commerce LLC. But not only are they a sponsor, I am a client. So I've been using GETIDA and I've gotten money back. And like Yoni said, they only charge you, like there's no monthly fees, no setup fees. They only charge you for what they get you back. And you can get your first $400 back for free. So we did a little giveaway earlier and said the first $400. And anyone who wanted to get $400, so you get your first $400 free. So super excited about that. Baruch, sorry. I know sometimes there's a lag in some cases. Watched all the video, couldn't get to giveaway. Waste of money for me.
I think he's upset about the Canada. He came in late on the giveaway. That's Javid.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sorry, Javid. So, all right, good deal. So,
I mean, $400 still open for the grab, so that's another guarantee. So hopefully that's helpful.
Exactly. And if you are not yet in the summit, grab your summit ticket. And in addition to this, there is going to be, wrong one, ecombuildersummit.com. We've got over 30 speakers. So today we added 9 sessions. Each day we're going to be adding more sessions. I don't take them away. So today you can check out Yoni's session, not just here, but there's one that's pre-recorded in the members area for the summit. So super excited about that. Super excited to have everybody here. So this is always a fun thing. So enjoy the summit and keep learning. Any tips you have for learning experiences, whether in person or virtual or things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you find that some of the stuff you know, but all of a sudden there's all these little nuggets that come in you don't know. Take it from that. You can do it with a regular notepad or open it like a spreadsheet or a Word doc. If you can't make it yourself, it's too tedious because you have an all-star team of 30 plus. Try to have somebody from your organization tap into that. So give them the opportunity, people in your organization, to also learn and grow with you. Sometimes also, a little tip, you and me can both listen to the same lecture and we both capture two different things. You know, so and they're both for the organization. So the more ears and eyes, gearing into the content, more opportunity to grow, because sometimes you're thinking during the presentation, so you're not really fully focused or you understand the full potential of something. So the first pair of ears, if you have a team, I encourage you to throw them into the mix, throw them to the party. Over the years, that's how we achieved a lot. Nice. A quick story about my background, because GETIDA is what we do today. We don't sell on Amazon anymore, but GETIDA was born from our activity as retailers. 10 years ago, we started selling online. 2013, we started selling on Amazon, because up until then, eBay was the main event.
Okay.
Yeah, the business grew very quickly from 0 to 20 million in Amazon FBA sales. Then we became a part of a larger group that together as a group, we did over 100 million in sales. And we had a lot of people around, and they're all very talented. And we all kind of grew together because we were very open-minded about this new industry called e-commerce. Even though it's established 20 plus years into the making, it's still growing and maturing and developing. So things are constantly moving. Then in e-commerce, like a whole year in traditional brick and mortar business. And try to open and scale, using a team and people passionate about it. They're dedicated to it, to the mission of your organization, and you're probably going to achieve great things. So this is a great opportunity with this event. So I encourage everybody to do that. Last thing I want to mention is, when are you going to do an unboxing of all the background that you have? I imagine one day you're going to come in, what's in the boxes, you got all these beautiful whatever. Just out of curiosity, because
no, that's a good idea. I think a lot of it just has like packing materials and stuff at this point, because they kind of like swap them out,
right.
Yeah, so that's funny. That's maybe I should do one day. Hey, here's what
one
I have
day,
here.
We'll do a special event dedicated just unboxing the boxes. Maybe the sponsors, we can throw in some gifts and prizes.
There you go. Maybe we will. We'll put prizes. All right. Who wants to win this box? Let's see what's in it.
Yeah,
that might be kind of fun. That might be kind of fun. We'll have to do that in the future.
All these cute gadgets, or classes, courses, books, whatever it is that can help people become better professionals in this industry.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Yoni. Appreciate all you're doing.
You got it. My pleasure. Okay, take care, everybody. We're going offline, yeah? 3,
I think 3, 2. I think we might actually be offline, but
okay, got
it doesn't say, because like the little spinning thing. I think the first time